So my argument is that 2025 is a S-curve year, right? And what I see is fear of missing out on a nation state level. And you start with really first principles, right? So this is beyond most people's comprehension. That being said, what is money is where you need to start. And, you have really three different options, right? The dollar, gold, and Bitcoin, right? And gold has been traditionally used, but the problem is, it's always had a competition with fiat, like issued state currencies, because it is really limited, and governments are made up of people that want to print more money because they want more power, and that's the problem. And so you have a give and take, because gold's not perfect either, right? Gold is durable. Um, it is portable, but is it really portable, right? Try paying for something with gold, like a big purchase, like a piece of real estate with gold, and you're going to need a security team, you're going to need a place, a vault to store it in, etc., right? Is it really divisible? Yeah, it is, but there's always some kind of wrinkle, some kind of problem. And, money is, existing dollars are more divisible, right? A dollar is uniform. A dollar is not limited in supply. So yeah, they keep it to a 2% inflation rate, or so they say. It's actually much higher, but in order to compete with gold, right? So they mine more gold and they print more dollars, and that's so far what we have to deal with. And all these inefficiencies are reflected in the Bitcoin growth chart, right? So for 14 years, or Bitcoin has been the highest performing asset in human history. And it's going to continue that way because it only has $1 trillion, right? 2 trillion at this point. There's $1,000 trillion in the world. So its upside potential is at least that of gold, right? And so when looking at overall monetary supply, whether that be, this could be a picture of gold, but it's overall monetary supply, which is thousands of trillions of dollars. Bitcoin's only 2% of that. We're about here. And what I see is maybe a couple of different stages, right? And so people think we're late in the cycle. This whole parabolic bull run, when in the context of total monetary supply, it's only about here. Okay? And so what we're looking for is a leg up, and we could say early adopters or early majority, right? There's already, a quarter of the country, 50, about 20% of the country owns some kind of crypto already. And the question is, how much own actual Bitcoin at this point? And about, states are dabbling at this point. And you have huge players, right? The U.S. government being the biggest player in the game. Other governments, like the Chinese government being the second largest. You have other nation states. And you have actual states, like U.S. states, right? So that's another challenge you're running into. Because if the U.S. government doesn't just print money to own 20% of the network, buy up all available supply, it's 20% of the network, then the states will. And if the states don't, the corporations will. And that's the challenge you're running into this cycle, right? Because once a big whale moves in, everybody else has to rush in. It's done. And Michael Saylor is the first example of this, right? He owns 400,000 Bitcoin of 2 million available for supply for sale, right? And that's just growing at his pace. He's going to buy it all up in 2 years, and that's just one tiny company. That's a $90 billion company. There's multi-trillion dollar companies out there that could just buy the entire supply if the U.S. government does not. Somebody's going to do it. And that's really the question. Microsoft's in talks with their shareholders to buy it. Amazon's in talks with the shareholders to buy it. 100 companies, 10 states right now are talking about their treasuries being backed in Bitcoin. U.S. states, 100 companies out there own Bitcoin, and there's probably 1,000 others talking about it right now. Microsoft and Amazon being the most prominent examples. Only one of them needs to move in to buy up all available supply. Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon. One of those companies out there, all available supply is gone. U.S. government moves in, all available supply is gone. And that's the challenge we're running into this cycle. And, when you have a scarce asset, the price goes parabolic. So, I think we push $800,000 to $1 million this cycle. And that's really the challenge and the big problem that we're running into. And we'll see. We'll see, right? But the question is, is it speculation? You're not really buying anything. And Bitcoin's not crypto, it's separate, right? The thesis of Bitcoin is store of value, right? This is the best store of value in created in human history. Everything else is the thesis that you need a decentralized ledger to run your business or your economy. It's a use case for a decentralized ledger. That is a speculation. This is investing in the future monetary system and buying a portion of it. And so you can argue per coin, but you should be really arguing per Satoshi, right? Like the percentage of 21 million coins or 21 million shares. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can easily buy a portion of the Bitcoin and be completely fine. Like, everybody should strive, as far as a goal, to 0.1 Bitcoin at this point, which is $10,000 roughly. That could be easily generational wealth, right? But, I think you have the cycle plays out, to me, a normal cycle in the sense of Bitcoin altcoins. Because what happens is people get into crypto and they say, hey, Bitcoin's too expensive, so to speak, quote unquote. I can buy other coins and the number will go up higher, right? And that is a speculation, right? And you can't get multiples. Those things will run harder and drop faster. So there'll be a time where you're getting in to cryptos and ultimately you're seeing Ethereum go up faster. You're seeing other coins go up faster. You're seeing Bitcoin could be doubling and Ethereum could be tripling and other large caps could be quadrupling and quintupling, etc. Right? It's so easy to be kind of distracted and excited, and this is, gambling. You could say this is speculation. This is investing. All right, they all follow in those phases, but you should also try to Bitcoin lasts longer and moves up slower in a bull run but it goes down slower in a bear market, and it goes up quicker on a recovery. So take profits into Bitcoin, 100%, because you're buying the future monetary system. And don't be afraid of buying actual Bitcoin itself, even though other things are going up faster, right? That's really the long game. This is a savings vehicle. And even that savings, again, in 10 years, I would estimate easily 100x. Okay, which is $10 million per Bitcoin at $100,000 today. So the purpose of a speculation, of a gamble, is to buy more Bitcoin. And I think you see that this cycle. I think Bitcoin dominance goes down. So, and because other coins are running faster. But I think that is also and I think they dropped the altcoins pretty fast as well. Because if enough altcoins flow back into Bitcoin, that takes out supply as well. Right? Like, this is what's available in Bitcoin right now. And so you're going to have like trillions of dollars in market cap in the altcoins. And if that money tries to flow back into Bitcoin, all Bitcoin's going to be gone. Right? There's going to be none available. And so even the altcoins itself can be a trap to distract you from buying a portion of the future monetary system. And it's just something to keep in mind. This is what's available, 2 million Bitcoin. If you were to buy it up now, that's $200 billion. Okay? The market cap, what is the altcoin market cap here? The altcoin market cap itself is $414 billion. So if all the altcoins, if half of them came in and bought Bitcoin, it'd be $200 billion. Or they'd buy up all available supply. And that in and of itself will take out all available supply. So I anticipate like a two-leg bull market where, you know, Bitcoin can run to $250,000, and as it grinds up, all the other altcoins are popping off, right? And then you'll see things dropping and people start to panic. And I think really at the end of this year, the nation states move in hard, right? All available supply is gone at 250,000. You have nation states, you have altcoin holders, you have everybody competing for more Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin price itself is a two-leg rip, right? So you have one leg up to $250,000, and then another leg up to almost $1 million, maybe $800,000, because all supplies fucking wiped out. So that is my take on this market. It's a year parabolic increase, and so even though it feels like, or if you look at the previous chart, from $200,000 to $100,000, this seems like a huge run, because that everybody has to buy Bitcoin. Every state, every company, every country has to buy it. We're barely at this point in the S curve. This point, this point, this point, this point, this point. Happy trading.